This midday, and we are monitoring races across the state and around the country all day today, as well as an update on what's happening at the polls. News 19's Whitney Sullivan joins us now from a polling location in Columbia with an update. And Whitney, how have things been running so far today?
Hey, good afternoon, Brandon. I have to say I'm at MLK Park, where we just saw the governor vote not too long ago, and things here have been running smooth and steady. But we do have to say that there have been a couple of hiccups at polls across the county. And so as I step away so you can see what's happening here, let me break down what we've received in regards to reports. So we've heard that polls at some locations have opened late. We've also learned that some voters did not go to the right precinct location. So make sure to check that before you head out to vote. Also, there has been some confusion about ballots when it comes to them being whether they're fed face down or face up. As you saw that machine over there, that's what they're talking about. And we talked with election officials who tell us that the scanner will work both ways regardless. But regardless, so many people out here ready to have their voice heard. I was able to speak to a couple of voters this afternoon and listen to what they had to say about why it's important to vote.
I think it's important to vote because I think if we want to see true change in our communities, in our cities, then we need to get out there and actually do what we say we're going to do. It's sort of like we always want this change, but if you don't get out there and actually do what needs to happen in order to see the change, then like your words fall flat. So I think you actually need to get out there and like put your money where your mouth is and like get to work.
It's our civic duty. You know, there's few things in life that aren't more important than voting, and when it comes to exercising the right that so many have fought for, you got to try to do the simple things in life and just vote so you can at least get your ideas out.
Well, we were able to speak to a poll manager here who says that this is the largest turnout that she has seen in an election thus far. And she's been working at this voting precinct for the past 6 years. And we are hoping that this is an indicator of what we will see across the state when it does come to voter turnout. Now, my friends, here's a big thing to remember if you have not gone out to the polls. Again, remember that the polls close at 7 o'clock, but as long as you were in line to vote by 7, you will be able to vote. Also, something important to note, make sure to check a sample ballot before you head out to vote. Election officials say that's a way to ensure that you get in and out in a timely manner. Reporting here at MLK Park, Whitney Sullivan, News 19 WLTX.
All right, thank you, Whitney. A lot of good advice there. Well, we've been talking about it for months, and Election Day has finally arrived. So let's take a look at several major races that we're going to be following throughout the evening. And we're going to start with the race for governor. Now, there are 3 candidates to choose from. Our current governor, Republican Henry McMaster, his Democratic challenger, former Congressman Joe Cunningham, as well as the Libertarian candidate Bruce Reeves. Now, if McMaster wins and completes this term, he will be the longest-serving governor in South Carolina history. It is also important to note that the governor and lieutenant governor run together. So whoever wins the gubernatorial race, their running mate will serve as the state's lieutenant governor. Now, next up, superintendent of education. Now, this is also going to be a race that's going to be closely watched. There are also 3 candidates running for this seat. Now, we've got the Democratic candidate, Lisa Ellis. She is a high school English teacher and founder for SC for Ed. Patricia Mickle represents the Green Party, and she's also been in education. She's been an educator for more than 15 years at the high school level and collegiate level. And then the Republican candidate, Ellen Weaver. Weaver helped launch the conservative think tank Palmetto Promise Institute. She also served on the Education Oversight Committee. Now, one of the most talked about aspects of this race is the requirement that candidates for superintendent of education have a minimum of a master's degree. Weaver did not have that requirement when she entered the race. However, last month she announced she completed the coursework to obtain that degree from Bob Jones University. Now, the next race that's going to be getting a lot of attention here in South Carolina is the U.S. Senate race. Now, the incumbent, Tim Scott, the Republican, he is facing his Democratic opponent, Crystal Matthews. Now, Scott has said this will be his last term if reelected. Now, this will help determine the balance of power in the U.S. Senate because currently the Democratic Party, if we take a look right here, they have the majority. They represent the majority. However, it's by a slim margin. So it could easily change today. Control of the Senate could hang on results in a handful of states. So this is a situation that people across the country are going to be watching very closely, including us here at WLTX. Now, back here in South Carolina, we're also going to be monitoring the results for Secretary of State, U.S. House, and other key contests. News 19 is a station that is on your side, and we're going to bring you the election results as we receive them, both on air and online. At WLTX.com, you can also find all the latest results by downloading the free News 19 mobile app.